This one comes to us from opb.org. Now, this one's out of Portland, Oregon, and you got to love these liberals. By the way, you're going to hear my central air because everybody here this morning is getting hot. So they turned on the central air. I'm a little hot too. But out of Oregon, in February, it was kind of a cold night, they say, when Joe Arevalo was outside an apartment complex in southwest Portland, Oregon, waiting outside a police perimeter so he could get back into his friend's apartment. That's according to his brother, who told the Oregonian Live that Joel Arevalo had sounded calm in a cell phone call. A photo taken by a resident of the complex that night shows Arevalo on the phone. Police officers and crime tape can be seen in the background. By the end of the night, Arevalo would be dead, shot by police. Acting Sergeant Zachary Kinney and Officer Reynaldo Guevara were both named by the Portland Police Bureau as being involved in the shooting. Police were at the apartment complex responding to multiple 911 calls reporting gunfire, according to a statement. They arrived and they set up a perimeter. Now, there's few additional details that have been provided about why officers perceived Arevalo as a threat or why they took aim at him. At the time, Jacob Driscoll, who lives in the complex, told OPB he'd seen someone walking around with a gun around 6 p.m. And around 8 p.m., a bullet came through his kitchen window and embedded in the wall. Driscoll later told the Oregonian Live that a photo he'd seen of Arevalo did not look like the man he'd seen with a gun earlier in the evening. I want to say that again. Driscoll, the guy who saw a guy with a gun and then later a bullet comes through his kitchen window, he said Joel Arevalo, the man shot by police, did not look like the man he'd seen with a gun earlier. Witness statement. That doesn't look like him. That's not the guy. That doesn't look like the guy I saw. But he's the guy that police shot. Why they're not saying, this is back in February, it's July 30th, they're still not saying. The result of the grand jury's investigation was announced this last Wednesday by the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office. Do you want to know what the grand jury said? Not criminal. Nope. They were just doing their job. But they're not telling anybody because it's an ongoing investigation. So nobody, hush hush, zip, loose lips, sink ships. We're not saying anything. Don't tell, don't talk. What happens in Portland stays in Portland. Yippers. And that's why we're out there recording the police. When you law enforcement officers who may see this video get upset and go, why is this dude always showing up with a camera? I want you to come back and watch this video right here. This is why. Because we don't know what happened. All we can go by is what the cops said. It's all we can go by. Well, you detective believe. And I want to nail that down real quick before I end this video. That I was thinking about that earlier this week. That we as people are programmed from the time we're kids. We're programmed to trust in law enforcement and say, police good. You know, they come to our classroom when you're a little kid and they go, hi, I'm Officer Jojo, and I'm here to talk to you today about drugs. Or just say no. And, oh, he's such a good cop. Man, I want to be a cop when I grow up. That's what we're programmed in. And so anytime anyone speaks bad about law enforcement, there's so many people that go, we call them bootlickers. There's so many people that go, man, they're just doing their job, because you're programmed to think that. And I'm not saying there aren't good cops. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, there are cops out there who are good law enforcement officers. They're trying to do their best. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to bond with the community. But if you have 12 cops, and let's say, just for argument's sake, and I'm almost done, so stay tuned here. Let's say you have 12 cops, and let's, for argument's sake, say there's definitely 4 of those 12 cops that are bad cops. they break the law, they violate policy, they violate people's civil rights. 4 of these 12 cops are bad. We don't know which ones though. So we have to record all 12 cops so we can identify the 4 and expose them. Because the other 8, they're not going to say anything. Oh, hell no. You think I'm getting ostracized in my department? I'm not going to be cut like cancer. I'm just going to turn my head. So those of you officers that are upset about us recording, next time you see a cop and you know he's doing something wrong, don't get mad at us for recording. Walk over to him and go, look, jackass, I'm sick of cameras being in my face. Knock it off. Thus endeth the lesson, as Sean Connery so eloquently said in The Untouchables.